Quindi oggi cambiamo lettura e presentiamo forse una lettura più mistica.
So today we'll change the reading and we'll present perhaps a more mystical reading. And in a while I'll ask to our friends if they have an example to share about it, or about what we'll read, or about what we have said. I'll read page 117 titled A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. A small chapter that already has the marvelous title Harbinger of Inner Clicks, if one is ready, since the few words of the title: Knowing yourself and knowing about yourself. Eckhart Tolle says, you may not want to know yourself because you are afraid of what you may find out. Many people have a secret fear that they are bad. This means we always speak about having a look under the carpet, about having a look where we used to leave everything in the shadows to shine on the light that I might be afraid of discovering not to be a good person, and that is a legit fear. Maybe others see me as a good person. I myself tried to live in such a way in order to appear a good person, but I could not be a good person after all, and there it is that if I could not be a good person, I fear going to the bottom so as to see and to know who I am. So it is very legitimate what is said and has nothing wrong. This is a resistance to look inwardly that holds us back in a life rather superficial in which we know everything except ourselves. How beautiful what Tolle says, listen up. But nothing you can find out about yourself is you. Nothing you can know about you is you. While some people do not want to know who they are because of fear, others have an insatiable curiosity about themselves and want to find out more and more. We could say that they fell in love more with the carpet than to discover who they are, more in love with the carpet and with what's under it than to discover always more things about their past or about their subconscious, rather than discovering that they're not their past, neither their personal story or hidden things under the carpet in their subconscious. You may be so fascinated with yourself that you spend years in psychoanalysis, delve into every aspect of your childhood, uncover secret fears and desires, and find layers upon layers of complexity in the makeup of your personality and character. I just want to say thank you to our Pat, because she was the one who has recommended us to read this page, and I also want to say that I've got loads of friends who are very good psychologists and psychiatrists. I think about Marzia and about Lorenza, but what we are saying doesn't mean that we are exempted from going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I remember that very often in the meditation groups, Mariano Ballester used to suggest to people in the first place to start off with a path of psychotherapy and then to dedicate themselves to meditation. So, what we say is not against the path of psychology at all, or against a psychiatric one. It is simply to bring attention, not to mix things up, and not to superficially compare apples and oranges. I mean, some meditation teachers, in my opinion, are a bit foolish, and let alone enlightened. They simplify a lot, and they say to people, you don't need a path of psychology, a psychiatric one, a psychoanalysis one, a psychotherapy one, as long as you meditate. This is a big nonsense, and there are some silly psychologists and psychiatrists in turn, not everybody, who say, I'm the one who let you do some meditation, as if meditation is some PNL self-hypnosis techniques. Meditation is something that has been taught by masters of the caliber of Buddha, Yogananda, and they have nothing to do with visualization and self-hypnosis techniques. It is a practice to go beyond the personality, and so if we beware of silly meditation teachers who say path of psychiatric, of psychology, of psychoanalysis, they're useless as long as you meditate, utterly wrong, we don't agree at all. On the other hand, some, few, and personally I know very good psychotherapists instead, who say, I'm the one who let you do some meditation, with just do self-hypnosis and creative visualization or PNL techniques. There, if we take off these two superficialities, I would say that one goes together with the other. Just avoid to mix them up. If I have a really delicious, in Italy I'm not a connoisseur of wines because right after I sip a drop of them, as we say in Rome, I get plastered. So usually I don't drink wine even though some dear friends sometimes bring excellent bottles, but I stay away from them because I don't have the physique. But if you take, and this is an inexpert talking, a really good red wine and a really good white wine, and you blend them, what comes out is a slop. So in this way, if you take on an excellent path of psychoanalysis, of which we're absolutely in favor of, and an excellent meditative path that obviously we do love, due to the fact that we practice meditation, and you mix them up together, it comes out a mark. So we invite you to be awake on this. Not to judge this one better than the other. Remember, there exists a good white wine and a good red one, but if you blend them, it doesn't produce an excellent rosé, it produces a mark. And so, to our view, it might seem banal, it's the same with meditation and psychoanalysis. Don't mix them up. Don't do superficial things. Rather, do appreciate the profundity of both. So let's get back to these lines and remember that we're not arguing about the matter that psychoanalysis is wrong. We are talking about the fact that likewise, as Woody Allen in his amusing movies, I could always run into discovering more things about my past, things that I didn't remember, things about my childhood, even things that perhaps I hid under the carpet because considered a taboo, maybe the relationship with sex, but dear friends, it's something about me, but not about who I really am. I keep on with the reading. If you have an example about what has been said before or about what we are reading, you could say something. I read again what was mentioned halfway.
Potete essere così affascinati da voi stessi?
You may be so fascinated with yourself that you spend years in psychoanalysis, delve into every aspect of your childhood, uncover secret fears and desires, and find layers upon layers of complexity in the makeup of your personality and character. After 10 years, the therapist may get tired of you and your story and tell you that your analysis is now complete. Perhaps he sends you away with a 5,000-page dossier titled, "This is all about you. This is who you are." This is a mistake because what you know about you is not you. Actually, what you know, it's always a memory, an emotion, a thought, a lived experience. It is never about the being behind the forms, the God within us, who we really are. This is who you are. As you carry the heavy file home, listen how beautiful it is, Eckhart Tolle says. The initial satisfaction of at last knowing yourself gives way quickly to a feeling of incompleteness and a lurking suspicion that there must be more to who you are than this. And indeed, there is more. Not perhaps in quantitative terms of more facts, well said Eckhart Tolle, exactly, not perhaps in quantitative terms of more facts, namely, I don't have to discover more facts about my childhood or about my past lives. I know people who think that their own childhood is not so important, but that's much more crucial to discover past lives. It's always past, dear friends, it's always before. Do play with it. You can play with remembering past lives, but this won't make you happy. It won't bring to you the joy of the spirit that comes with the contact with God. And we do know that the word God, it's a bit dangerous to use. Anyhow, let us use it, if we're not too much slaves of the words. And indeed, there is more, Tolle says, in a qualitative dimension rather than a quantitative one that is vertical instead of horizontal.